Hi everyone, I thought I would have a go at this really lovely festive wreath from, I can't open the book, close the book even. It's from Botanicum by Maria Trolle, and it's a really pretty wreath. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to start with number 38. This is Staedtler Ergosoft, and as I colour I will continue to talk. But there is a lot of little details in this, which is why I decided to use my Ergosofts, because they can hold their point well and they're sharpened to a nice point, so I can more easily colour. Now what I decided to do was for the pine parts, which is obviously what I'm working on right now, to just block colour and not try and shade, because there's so many small details here, the little tiny pine needles, and I am missing at times. I can't always see exactly what's going on, so those are going to be done, all of them, in this same colour. And I think actually what I might do is not do them all on camera. It's going to drive you mad. See, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to quite make out which bit's leaf and which bit's gap. But I'm just going to persevere and finish this one. I think it'll be easier if I have my head a bit closer, which I can't do when I'm filming. So all of these are going to be done with this pencil, and I think probably the best thing for me to do is to do that now, off camera. The only thing while I'm still on camera is to have a little think about the stalks of the berries and these mushrooms and things. They've got these little things that are poking them into the wreath. Now I could do this colour as well, and I'm sort of just having a contemplate, and I shall do it out loud with you before I sort of pause and finish all of these. I'm thinking that if I was making this wreath, I would make them this colour so that they would sort of be disguised, you know, because you don't really want to see that bit. You want to see the ornament rather than the stick. So I think I will be doing them in this colour. So yes, so that and these stems, it also makes it a lot easier because they're all combined in. I think it'd be very difficult otherwise. So I'm going to go away and colour in all of that. The only thing I'm not going to do in the green, see these sticky bits of twig that are coming from the pine cones, I think we'll leave those and do them in a wood, a brown, rather than, can you see them? Rather than a green. But everything else, all of these little lines, I'm going to do in the green. And the reason I wanted to do it first is because I'm then going to choose all my colours from my other bits and pieces, and until this sort of background has gone down, it's quite tricky to sort of work out what to do with the rest. So I figured it would be best to put all this colour down and then decide. I've got a few ideas, but I think it's sort of what I tend to do is I think about what colour jumps out at me naturally. So this colour, these pine cones are doing brown, and then I start thinking about, you know, do I do these birds as if do I do them gold? Do I do them red? You know, we're going to have some mushrooms, they're going to be red, that sort of thing. And, you know, I start thinking after, but to get the sort of base colour down first helps me a little bit. So I'm going to do that, and then I will come back to you. Hi, I am now back. It's actually almost a day since I recorded the first little bit of this video. I went off and filled in all the green that I could see, and I then was on the phone and I spotted a few other bits that I'd missed. So I think it's one of those pages where I might sort of, like I just am now, find bits that just need you know, doing, because there's so many little bits and pieces. But we've done the greenery, really simple. And then I'm going to, what I thought was I might just colour this little bit and this bit, because there's a lot of repeating. So we've got these pine cones here and they look the same as these and similar to these. So in fact they are the same. They've just been turned round, I think, cut and pasted. And the same with the birds, they're all the same, and the mushrooms and the berries. So I thought if we do a little bit of each, then there's no need to do the whole thing, or it's just going to get really boring for you. So let's start with the pine cones. Now, I'm probably just going to do those two, because that one's the same. So I'm going to come in much closer, because it is quite detailed. So you are going to be more easily able to see what I'm doing, which is always useful. There we go. So we've got these two here, and I'm grabbing my slightly lighter of the dark browns, which is 76. And I'm going to start with this one. Now I'm just going to do a layer all over to start with. And then add some shape. So I'm going to make the bottoms of these little sections, I wonder if they have names, don't know, darker, and then fade up towards the tip on all of them. Now, because I'm using Ergosoft, they're not really dark, intense colours. So if you want it really dark, you may have to layer it up a bit more. You might even want to add some black in here to make it look really dark, but I think I'm going to be happy with it like this. I don't know if I necessarily want it really harsh, because it is, if you think about a pine cone, they can vary in their colours, but they don't tend to be really dark, with a big difference in colour between the areas of them. So it's quite a straightforward technique, really. Just right through the whole thing. I think this one's going to be slightly trickier, to be honest, but we'll do that. And then with the stick, the branch, I'm just going to again colour it over. I'm pressing a little bit harder for this one. We've got these little things. They're almost like, they're like baby bits of cone ready to grow, I think. I almost want to call them buds, but they're not. Buds are sort of flowers, aren't they? But I'm doing the same sort of colouring on those, like that. And then we're going to do this one, and then I'm going to bring in a second colour in a minute, but I'm just going to do all the bits that I want in this colour first. So again, just a covering of this, and we've got some stick bits here and here. Oh, and a little bud bit. So for this one, we're looking on top rather than from the side, so the technique is really similar, but we're going in here where they would be shadowed near the centre of our pine cone, like this, and then working our way out or up, I suppose, through the cone like that. And a little on those. This one I would do the same. I'm not going to do that one as well. It's out of shot anyway. So I'm going to grab my darker brown now, which is the number 77, and do a little extra few bits. So on the branchy bit, I'm just going to go around the edge slightly with this, just to try and add a little shape and a little bit on the bottoms of these. It's not going to show up massively, it's such a small area, but if you put a darker bit on the edges, it can make it look a little bit more rounded. We'll do the same on this one. A little bit in there where there would be shadow, and then I'm thinking we could just use this to go around here, just to emphasize these the shadow that would be appearing between each of these little little things, and through and up to the top. This one though, I think it would be quite dark down in the centre there, that might be dipped in, and then just all these bits around the middle a little bit. I'm not really convinced it's making a huge amount of difference. If you don't want to do it, I don't think anyone's going to even notice. So that's that one. Now it's not particularly neat. You could spend a bit of time neatening it up. I might do that when I finish it and just go over them a bit. But I really do want the tips to be a bit lighter than the base, but really if you look at a pine cone, it's not going to be a really even colour anyway, so you can give yourself an excuse for it looking a bit scruffy like I just have. So the berries, or actually no, let's not do the berries yet, let's do these. Now these I want to do red and grey. So I was going to do the berries red, but let's get these red ones done first and then have a look and see how it looks really. So I'm going to use the number 29 and I'm going to colour in a block colour the background behind the circles to start with. Now it's tempting to try and make them look more rounded by going darker on the out edges, but it is a really small shape. It's hard to know whether it's really worth the effort because I don't know if it will show. I'm going to try on this one by just layering up a bit more on the edges as I put down my initial layer of colour. But to be honest, I don't think you're seeing that. I think to really make this corner here look darker, for example, or this edge, you probably need to use a different colour. Now to darken the reds, I tend to use purple. It's quite good, but you have to be very careful in how you put it down so that it doesn't look purple. It sounds ridiculous. You don't want the purple to look purple. You want it to look, you know, blend in with the red and just darken it. So you have to be a little bit careful. Now, I'm just going to keep that there. Now our bases are stalks. I'm going to use the light grey, which is number 80. Sorry, it's a bit blurred for you. And I'm going to try to make them a little darker around the edge. So I'm going to put down a harder layer and then just fade it. It's much easier to do that on the stalk than the top because we haven't got those, all the circles to try and avoid, which can be what makes it tricky. I mean, you could colour over the circles and then go over them in white pen after to make it a little easier. And actually, as this paper is cream, they might benefit from being white. Put some white on top. Let's put some white on them and see how it looks. This is 0. I don't know how well this white goes down, to be honest. It's up to you. I think it looks slightly more vibrant, but maybe it's just because I know it's there and I'm looking for it. I don't really know. Okay. Bird and berries. Now, as I said, I was going to do the berries red as well as the toadstools, but will that be overkill? Shall we do... And what colour for the birds? I'm having a think while I get out my hanky. I think I'd like some gold in this picture. I'm thinking, would the bird be best in a goldy colour? Do we cheat and do, yeah, let's do a cheating gold for our bird. Let's put him in the picture so you can see him. Number 16 is a very goldish yellow, I think, and I'm going to go over the whole bird in this colour to start with. You'll see my plan as it unfolds. I make it sound very exciting. Ooh, what's she gonna do? She's gonna add a bit of brown. It's also exciting. Okay, here's my base colour, and yes, I'm gonna, whoops, I can't pick up the pencil. I'm gonna add a bit of number 73 to, in areas where I want it to look a little darker, so at the bottom here. I'm sort of ignoring this line here really. It's making it too complicated for me. So fade that up there, and then again the bottom of the wing look darker. Now I'm going to do all my birds the same, all my pine cones the same, all my berries the same. If it was my wreath in my house, I would want it to all match. I've even got my Christmas tree matching this year, which is bit of a change. Usually I just throw everything on it, but this year I didn't. My son said, just mum, just make it a bit less. Number one, I'm going to go over these lighter areas with this yellow to make it more vibrant. And the beak. So yeah, that's what I did. I did what he said, and I still wasn't sure. And now I'm looking at it, it looks a bit more elegant than having a whole mishmash of stuff chucked all over it. So yeah, that's the way it's going to stay, I think. There he is. It's not too tricky. It doesn't look like it's gold, but that isn't how he's going to be finished. I'm going to finish him off a bit more at the end. I should show you. Oh, shouldn't rub with my hands, really. Let's do the bow and the star and then do the berries, because I am not thinking at the minute. I'm thinking this will be a red ribbon, you see. So until I've got all my red in, I'm not sure what the balance is going to look like with regards to the berries. So this piece of ribbon, so I've grabbed my number 29 again. Now there's a bit through the branches. Now I'm going to put a layer down, but I'm going to fade it towards the middle on the main piece, this bit. The bit behind I'm not, like that. Okay, so I'm going to go over that again. So the bit behind is going to be darker because it's behind, it'll be more shadowy. And then this bit darker at the bottom, then less as we go up. I don't want any white, it's not metallic ribbon, but it's sort of silky ribbon, so this is how I'm imagining it anyway. So there'll be some lighter area there. We have got a line there, which I'm just going to go over like that, so it looks like it's got a little bit of a curl in it. Now for me that isn't quite dark enough in some of the areas. I'm going to try and darken it with number 8. Couldn't read it then. Really gently, just on that where there'd be a bit of shadow, and here. So just a little touch to darken it without making it look grey. Okay, now we have this and this. Now I want to make these look gold like the birds. We're going to be a little bit more careful than we were with the bird. I'll build up a few more layers, I think. So I will start with number 76, which is my darkest colour. And we'll put a bit there and then fade it like that. Like that, and down here. So my shine is going to be somewhere across here. I'm going to do the star in the same colours. So I'm just having a little think. I think we're going to go around there and a little bit on each point. And I'm going to leave those bits empty as if there's a gap. That's my idea anyway. We'll see how it turns out, hey? Now, our next colour is our 73. Go over what you've done already to help it blend in, and then extend your colour. This is quite orangey, it'll be fine. It'll match in with the bird, so it'll be okay. Like that. Now this circle is quite big already. Let's just extend these little bits. Quite hard to have enough room to fade it, so I'm just going right over the top in quite a hard layer like that. And then we go in with our real goldy colour, our number 16. Like that. And in there. Again, just sort of over the top of this and extending it out a little bit as we go. There go. And our last colour, we are going to use the number 1, like we did for the bird. It will sort of all tone in then, you know, and leave some white here. Not too much, just enough to make it look like there's a shine, like the light's catching it. So was my aim with my golds. Now here it's going to be quite tricky. Just do the best you can. There we go. Now we've got the bow at the bottom to do next. Now I want to do that in red as well. So I'm going to grab the same red, again the number 29, and the outside edge I'm not going to colour. I'm not going to leave it white, but I'm not going to colour it at the moment. You'll see why in a bit. Again, I have a very exciting plan. You just have to wait. Oh dear. The jeopardy. You've seen the thumbnail. You'll see you know what it looks like. So I'm trying to colour the areas that will be darker a bit more, even right now, to start to get some idea of what it's going to look like. So where the lines are, I mean, it's quite useful. Maria has let us know where to put the darker colour, although I think I want this darker all the way around, like that. We're sort of looking inside the bow, so there'll be some shadow in there. So there's that bit. Now if it's a liney direction, it doesn't matter too much because it's ribbon. I think fabric does have a sort of direction in it. I mean, look at my cardigan, which I've just noticed is really dirty. It's got the lines in it, and even my jumper, because you can't really see, it has got a line in the fabric. Yeah, I need to get this cardigan in the wash. It's got it's tomato paste. Not good on a cardigan this colour. Let's hope it comes out. I was thinking of buying another one actually. I was hoping the shop that sold them had some different colour, because this pale grey is not really a colour that I wear much. I usually wear darker colours. I don't know why. Just like them. So I don't know, but I haven't been in. I was thinking of popping into town today, and then I need to pick up my husband's prescription. It's not urgent, he's still got a bit left, and my son's run out of toothpaste, but he's been using a bit of mine. But husband says, "Oh, I'm expecting an Amazon delivery today, you have to stay in." I was like, "Ah." And then I just found out that I've got a chap coming round to drop off some splashback for my kitchen, and they're coming to fit it tomorrow, I think. So that's exciting, having been sort of delayed by illness and having the wrong size bit and everything else. But anyways, we'll see. Oh, I've got pins and needles in my toe. I was sitting with my foot screwed up underneath my chair with my toes tucked under. It wasn't very sensible. So it feels better now. Right. Now this paper I rather like. It's quite smooth. As you can see, there's quite a lot of white showing through, which is useful. To help show the shine of the ribbon and the sort of where it's darker and lighter. But yeah, the pencils go down well, I think, on it compared. I've been using a lot of Amazon paper lately. Amazon, these are the books that are printed by Amazon, and it isn't as thick as this. It's okay. It's just different. You have to sort of get used to using different papers. And I've gone over the lines here not worried. I'm going to put something over that in a bit. I haven't told you yet. Right, I think we've got a lot of red. Let me come out and show you. That's probably not quite enough. There we go. So we've got quite a lot of red with our ribbons and these. Imagine we're going to have them there and there and there as well. We've got a fair bit of brown and the gold. So I'm thinking what we're going to do for these berries, I don't want to do gold and I don't want to do dark brown, but I was thinking maybe something in between. Maybe these two colours. I don't really want to introduce a brand new colour, and I'm thinking Christmassy colours, you know, I don't want to go purple or pink or something. As pretty as they are, it's not, for me, it doesn't feel right. So I'm going to actually use these and we'll see how we go. So this is 73. I'm going to stay zoomed out because it's quite simple and we want to see how it looks compared with the rest of the page. So I'm going to use the ones sort of near, do the ones near here. So I'm going to go around the edge of the berry in quite an intense layer, sort of build that layer up a few times round and then bring some into the middle just gently, starting to do a little scumbling movement and then fade off. Okay, and then grab the 16, whoops, it wants to roll away, and finish. So with the 16 I'm going back over the same layer and scumbling it into here and bringing it in towards the centre. I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. The pencils are so shiny, the light shining off them. So there we go. So we're only using 2 pencils to get our berry. I'm actually not going to leave a white bit in the middle. I had considered that. I'm going to do a few more just so we can get a look at how, see how they look really. And then fade that in. I'm just going to do a couple of clusters so we can see. What I'm going to do in a minute is go away and finish this page and finish all the pencil work on this page, and then I'll come back and show you my finishing touches. So here's the 16. I think we might have a bit of a harsh edge on some of these. But yeah, it's nice, the pencil isn't the final bit, so yeah, I've got various plans for bits like the ribbon, which we're not going to do yet. So those are the berries. I think that works. I'm going to finish it now off camera. And then come back, as I say, and show you the finishing touches. There's a few different things that I want to do, which will make it look a bit more Christmassy and sparkly. So, so you can, hopefully you've got enough now. You can either wind it back and do those bits again, you know, follow me again, or whatever's easiest for you. And if you're following along, colouring along, that is, or just hold out and I'll be back in no time at all. Okay. Hi, I have now completed all of the pencil. Well, I think I have. I'll probably find some bits I've missed. And well, I'm ready to do the final touches. The first thing I'm going to do is use my Gellyroll Sakura number 700, which is like the glitter glaze. And so it's like a glitter glue. And I'm going to use it all over the gold birds. Okay, that's my first sort of finishing touch. Now my doorbell might ring. I'm waiting. Was expecting someone to come. I had a half-hour slot and it's 5 minutes past the end of that half-hour slot, so I'm not sure what's held them up, but there are lots of temporary traffic lights and things, so you just never know. I thought I would just get on and do this bit of recording, and I may just be disturbed, but it's fun. I just wanted to get on and do my glittering. Is that an official verb, to glitter? Glittering? Glittering is obviously an adjective, but I don't think it's a verb. But hey, let's just use it anyway, it's fun. I think this is beginning to run out, this pen. Not surprising, the amount of I use it. I do have some spares, luckily. Why wouldn't you? It's glitter. So I'm just going over the whole bird. I haven't gone over the eye. I think I should actually. I'm going to. Because I'm thinking if it was a glittered tree ornament, it would be dipped, wouldn't it? You couldn't not do the eye. It would be really difficult. I don't know why I'm worrying about it looking realistic, but you know, it's fun, isn't it? So the 3 birds are all glittery. I'm also going to add glitter to the stars in the middle. This heart, do it all over it. Now, the worst problem with glitter is when do we stop? We could put glitter on everything with this one, because we would still see all the colours through. It would look nice and shiny. But we need to have a little bit of restraint, she says to herself, telling herself off. So there are birds in our heart. Now I think I'm definitely going to do a coloured one. This is now the set of these. So this is the yellow one, or gold one, and I'm going to do the ribbon. The bits that we left, I wanted to be gold. Okay, so I'm going to do those next. There's a lot of other potential for glitter, and I'm sort of thinking it through. Whoops, while I'm missing and doing this. Around the edge of each of the berries could be glittered, but I don't think so, because if they're going to be a spherical berry, why would they have glitter around the one bit of it? It would either be all of it or none of it. So I think I'm not going to do that. I think what I will do though is the toadstools, mushrooms, the white bits. I thought I might put some glitter on those, but I'm not sure whether to do the see-through glitter that we used for the birds. But I think I may just use some silver. Okay, so there's our sort of sparkly edge of our ribbon. And yes, I'm going to grab the silver glitter pen. Sorry, I didn't tell you the number of the gold one. The gold one's 703 and the silver one is 744. And I'm going to use it now. I'm going to have to be careful so I don't put my hand in any of the glitter that I've done already. It's always a bit of a liability. It can be a lot easier to work from top to bottom or from one side to the other, depending on whether you're left or right-handed, or turn the book. There are lots of ways, but I've decided to just make it hard for myself. Do it this way. Yeah, I think they stand out a bit more now, which I like. Now, one thing we could do on the berries is a little white shine mark with a white Sakura pen. That's an option I'm thinking about, but I'm not sure because they've got that bit in the middle that's paler. I don't know if they need it, and I don't know how much it will show up on these Staedtler pencils because their colour isn't that intense. You sort of need a really intense colour for it to show up really well. Trying to make sure I don't splodge. You could also put some silver on or gold on the pine cones to make them look like they've been dipped in some sort of glitter, but I think I'm going to leave them looking natural in quotation marks. Alright, let me tip that so you can see the glitter, because I don't know if you can. So you can see it and think about it. Yeah, I'm going to try the white. I'm actually going to use a Posca though. This is a new Posca, so I know it's got lots of white in. And I'm going to do them all little lines on the same side of every berry. so that it all ties together. I'm trying not to put my hand on the wet glitter pen. I know a lot of people avoid using gel pens because of the smudging, and yeah, I can completely understand that. But I try. I think they can really add to a picture, so. But I mean, I know some people use a alcohol marker rather than a gel pen if they're doing sort of block colouring, or even I think you can blend alcohol markers. But I don't know if I can deal with the smell. I used some the other day, just playing around. Ugh. Right, this is going to be, I'm going to turn my book. I'm never going to do this properly otherwise. Yeah, I couldn't. It was just making me feel queasy. I was like, how do people even do this? But maybe the smell varies, I don't know. And I was talking to one of my workmen about it because he was using some acetone, which is like nail polish remover. It's a really similar smell. And he said, oh, I like it. I was like, really? And then I spoke to someone else who uses them who said, you know, they get used to it, but I don't think so. Right, I am going to leave mine like that. But as I said, you know, you could potentially put more glitter on. You could go around the berries and some orangey glitter pen. You could put red on top of the mushrooms, although you might as well have not coloured them in pencil if you're going to do that. You could put a bit of gold around the edges of the birds. I had considered doing that, but I didn't. Put, as I say, some gold or silver touches on the pine cones. They would stand out a little bit more than they do now if you did that. But yeah, I'm happy with that, so I'm going to leave it there. But thank you for watching and joining me. I've had a lot of fun with this one. Haven't done any of the Maria Trolle Christmassy ones before, so it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing some more this year, next year. Who knows? I've got a whole list of Christmas colouring I want to do. I don't think I'm going to get through it all, but hey. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and happy colouring.